The story of a king, a legend, an icon, does not always begin in a palace. It doesn't always start with privilege or fanfare. Sometimes the greatest stories emerge from the most unexpected places, from circumstances that seem to defy the very notion of greatness. For Pelé, the man who would become synonymous with footballing brilliance, it began with a simple name, Edson Arantes do Nascimento. Born in the modest town of Três Corações, Brazil, a place whose name translates to three hearts, perhaps foreshadowing the passion and love he would bring to the world of football. Life began in poverty, a stark reality that shaped his early years and instilled in him a resilience that would define his career. Not privilege, not comfort, but a daily struggle that fueled his ambition and ignited a fire within him. His father, Dondino, a former footballer himself, a local legend in his own right, passed down not only his genes but also his love for the beautiful game. He inspired him despite his own career being cut short by a devastating injury, a cruel twist of fate that only strengthened young Edson's resolve. The family moved to Bauru, São Paulo, a bustling city that promised a better future, a chance to escape the clutches of poverty. But they were chasing opportunity but finding only struggle, a common story for many families in Brazil at the time, a testament to their unwavering spirit. The streets, the dusty roads, the makeshift pitches became Pelé's first stadium, his training ground, his sanctuary. It was there where he learned football's rhythm barefoot, feeling the earth beneath his feet, connecting with the ball in a way that few others could. With no equipment but boundless imagination, he transformed rags and newspapers into footballs, turning limitations into opportunities. Young Edson, quiet at home, a reserved and thoughtful child, found his voice and his passion on the football field. But, electric on the pitch, a whirlwind of energy and skill, a force to be reckoned with. He shined shoes to help his family, contributing to the household income, learning the value of hard work and perseverance, and dazzled with a ball at his feet, showcasing a natural talent that would soon captivate the world. His skills were undeniable, his potential limitless. From these humble beginnings, from the streets of Três Corações and Bauru, from a life of poverty and struggle, both the man, Edson Arantes do Nascimento, and the legend, Pelé, were born, ready to conquer the world. Pelé's childhood was defined by hardship and hope. Every coin he earned as a shoeshiner was a small victory against poverty. The 1950 World Cup loss devastated Brazil and Pelé's father. Seeing Dondinho cry, Pelé promised, "One day, I'll win it for you." That vow became his driving force, transforming football from a pastime into a mission. The family's struggles became fuel for his ambition. Pelé's dream was no longer just his own, it was for his father, his family, and his country. The weight of that promise shaped his destiny. From the dust of Bauru, he set out to redeem a nation's heartbreak. In Bauru, a real football was a luxury. Pelé and friends played with grapefruits or sock-stuffed balls. These makeshift games demanded creativity and honed his touch, balance, and improvisation. The unpredictable bounce of a sock ball taught him control and finesse no academy could replicate. Street football was relentless, chaotic, and free-perfect for nurturing his unique style. Here, Pelé's Ginga Brazil's joyful, rhythmic approach was born. The lack of resources forced him to innovate, forging genius from necessity. When he finally played with a real ball, it felt like magic. His foundation was built from scraps, but it was unbreakable. Genius, for Pelé, was forged in the fires of scarcity. Pelé's talent soon outgrew Bauru's streets. Under coach Waldemar de Brito, he joined Bauru Athletic Club where his genius was recognized and nurtured. At 15, de Brito took him to Santos FC, boldly declaring, "This boy will be the greatest football player in the world." The transition was tough. Homesickness, pressure, and physical challenges tested him. But Pelé's determination prevailed. In his debut for Santos, he scored as a substitute, an early sign of greatness. By 16, he was a regular starter and league top scorer. The boy from Bauru had become a sensation. His journey from shoeshiner to Santos star was complete. The world was about to meet Pelé. At just 17 years old, a teenager on the cusp of adulthood, Pelé, a name whispered with both excitement and uncertainty, was a surprise pick, a bold gamble for Brazil's 1958 World Cup squad. Many questioned the inclusion of such a young, relatively unproven player on the world's biggest stage. Recovering from a nagging injury that threatened to sideline him completely, he finally debuted in the final group game, a moment filled with anticipation and pressure. He instantly electrified the team, injecting a new energy and dynamism that had been previously missing. His presence alone seemed to lift the spirits of his teammates. His first World Cup goal, a masterful display of skill involving a perfect chest control, a deft flick over a defender, and a powerful volley into the back of the net, ultimately won the tense quarterfinal match against a determined Wales side. It was a goal that announced his arrival on the world stage. In the semi-final against a formidable French team, he scored a breathtaking hat-trick, a feat that cemented his place in World Cup history. He was stunning the world with his incredible talent and youthful exuberance. The crowd watched in awe as a star was born. In the highly anticipated final against the host nation, Sweden, Pelé scored 2 goals, showcasing his versatility and composure under immense pressure. One of those goals was truly legendary, a moment of pure genius involving a sublime flick over a defender followed by an unstoppable volley that left the goalkeeper with no chance. Brazil triumphed over Sweden with a resounding 5-2 victory, securing their first ever World Cup title. As the final whistle blew, signaling the end of the match and Brazil's historic victory, he wept tears of pure, unadulterated joy, a mixture of relief, pride, and overwhelming emotion. In that moment, he had not only fulfilled his own dreams, but also his promise to his father, who had instilled in him a love for the game, and to his nation, who had placed their hopes on his young shoulders. Carried off the field by his jubilant teammates, a hero's welcome befitting his extraordinary performance, Pelé, the young boy who had dared to dream, became a global superstar overnight, his name forever etched in the annals of football history. The barefoot boy from the humble streets of Bauru, who had honed his skills with nothing more than a makeshift ball and unwavering determination, was now rightfully crowned the King of Football, a title he would carry with grace and distinction for decades to come. His life, and the landscape of football itself, would never be the same. He had ushered in a new era of skill, athleticism, and global appeal. The world had found its new icon, a symbol of hope, inspiration, and the boundless potential of human achievement. Pelé's legend had only just begun, and the world eagerly awaited the next chapter in his extraordinary story. Fame brought Pelé both glory and hardship. It elevated him to a level of global recognition rarely seen, opening doors to opportunities and adoration. But this ascent also cast a long shadow, bringing with it challenges that tested his resilience and character. The weight of expectations, the constant scrutiny, and the physical toll of the game all contributed to a complex and often difficult journey for the young star. Targeted by defenders, he suffered brutal fouls and injuries, a constant threat to his career and well-being. Opponents often resorted to aggressive tactics, seeing him as the key to stopping the Brazilian team. These fouls weren't just accidental, they were often calculated attempts to intimidate and disable him, showcasing the darker side of the sport. Missing most of the 1962 and 1966 World Cups, these tournaments, meant to be showcases of his talent, became marred by injury, robbing him and the world of witnessing his full potential on the grandest stage. The dreams of a nation rested on his shoulders, and these setbacks were felt deeply by fans around the globe. The 1966 tournament was especially harsh. He was kicked out of contention, the victim of relentless and often unchecked aggression from opposing teams. The referee's leniency towards these fouls further fueled his frustration and disappointment, leaving him feeling unprotected and vulnerable, vowing never to return. The pain of that experience was profound, leading him to question his future in the sport and the fairness of the game itself. It was a moment of deep disillusionment for a player who had always played with passion and integrity. Off the pitch, Pelé faced racism at home and abroad, a stark reminder of the prejudice that permeated society during that era. Despite his fame and achievements, he was not immune to the discrimination faced by black individuals worldwide, enduring taunts and prejudice even as he broke barriers. His success on the field challenged racial stereotypes and inspired countless individuals, but it also made him a target for those who clung to outdated and hateful beliefs. He became a symbol of hope for black athletes worldwide, carrying immense expectations. This responsibility weighed heavily on him, as he understood the significance of his role in breaking down racial barriers and inspiring future generations. Santos FC capitalized on his fame, sending him on exhausting global tours. These tours, while lucrative for the club, placed a tremendous strain on Pelé's physical and mental health, as he was constantly traveling and performing under pressure. The relentless schedule and public scrutiny took a toll on his body and mind. The constant pressure to perform at his best, coupled with the lack of rest and recovery, began to wear him down, impacting his performance and overall well-being. Pelé was more than a player. He was a national treasure, ambassador, and commercial icon. The pressure to be perfect was immense. He was expected to not only excel on the field but also to represent his country with grace and dignity, a burden that few could truly understand. Behind the legend was a man who bore the world's weight. He carried the hopes and dreams of a nation, the expectations of fans, and the responsibility of being a role model, all while navigating the challenges of fame, racism, and physical hardship. Pelé's influence reached far beyond football. He championed humanitarian causes, especially for children, using his story to inspire hope. As a UNICEF and UNESCO ambassador, he promoted peace, education, and health worldwide. His fame once paused a civil war in Nigeria, uniting enemies for a match. Pelé's legacy as a statesman grew. He fought corruption in sport and advocated for the disadvantaged. He never forgot his roots, working to give underprivileged youth opportunities he never had. Even after retirement, he remained a symbol of hope and positivity. Pelé proved a sports star could change the world. Pelé's legacy is more than goals and trophies. He was football's first global superstar, turning the number 10 shirt into a symbol of genius. He redefined the forward's role: fast, strong, creative, and complete. His flair and imagination set a new standard, inspiring generations from Maradona to Messi. Pelé became Brazil's ultimate symbol, uniting a nation and embodying o jogo bonito, the beautiful game. His story is the ultimate rags-to-riches tale, proving greatness can come from anywhere. He gave hope to millions, playing with infectious joy. The flame Pelé lit still burns, inspiring dreamers everywhere. His impact on football and the world endures. Decades after his last match, Pelé's magic endures. Fans love him for his joy, humility, and the purity he brought to football. He played with a smile, never losing touch with his roots or his humanity. Pelé's story is timeless, overcoming adversity, fulfilling a promise, and spreading joy. He is more than a memory. He is an idea that anyone from anywhere can change the world. Pelé is the benchmark for greatness, the embodiment of o jogo bonito. His name means excellence, grace, and love for the game. For millions, he will always be o rei para sempre, the king forever.